North American tournaments. It feels like it's maybe this is the time where Pain can start finally finding their groove and maybe take down EG for once and for all. But obviously, it's a tough team to beat here, Brax.
Well, Maut, think about it this way, right? The South American teams play in North American tournaments, so they play on US East. What happened if American teams played on South America? Yeah, we don't know because it hasn't happened.
Yeah, this is where this is where the major and minor system really helps. They get these slots, at least one team to get to these majors and just get better at the game. That's what they need. That's what they talk about a lot. The South American players. We need practice. We need to beat some of these teams, and in order to do that, they got to get to these tournaments. And so Pain Gaming are here, and we're into the draft now underway, and it is EG versus Pain. So. In terms of the bands, it's about what you would expect for the most part. Maybe a Rogue Nature's Prophet band in there, but
yeah, I'd say we have the same pool of like maybe 8 or 9 heroes for the first phase entirely.
That's
right?
the first Dark Willow band though I think we've seen. I don't think people have touched it at all. The Complexity Secret game or the game before Liquid vs. LFY.
No bans and definitely no picks. First pick Razor.
Wow.
Haven't seen that in a while.
That's crazy. I can't believe I've seen a Razor pick. Now perhaps there's no Gyrocopter is the good news for EG. They won't have to deal with that. They banned it out. That is one of the other strong safe lane or mid lane heroes that you like to pick up, the Gyro. But Tiny, that's what you didn't ban out. That's what they're going to pick up for Pain. Although there was a nerf, the tree grab nerf, but okay, this hero is Chen's pretty good.
Mom, we've got
honest.
the speed draft going on here. I was going to mention how I dodged your question earlier. I completely ignored your answer. You asked me what I thought about the game, and I went on about the history of the players.
That's okay. I'll forgive you for it, Brax. But the Chen hero we saw in the first series, the Liquid versus LFY, Kuroki crushed with it in the beginning of the game. They kind of lost their footing towards the middle stage of the game, and then they were able to come back with the strong cores that they had in Miracle on the Shadow Fiend. But Chen in general, it just seems like a very strong hero right now, especially these Q button pendants, very good.
So strong.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole game was dictated by Chen's movements, right? Everywhere he went, he was able to make something happen. He rushed that extremely fast medallion. That's the pretty much go-to build nowadays, I'd say.
And the impressive thing was he actually didn't get off to that fast of a start because you had the Earthshaker roaming around and stopping him from doing anything on Afu. So maybe they could do something like that with EG. They have the Bounty Hunter. They can maybe just shadow the Chen if they like with the Bounty.
Yeah, that used to be the common strategy, right? Bounty Hunter follows this Chen around. He scouts out the movements, and then he just hits the other lanes where Chen isn't because he's not as mobile. You can't bring the creeps that quickly across the entire map, right?
Yeah.
But the big problem I had with that last Chen game against the Shaker was kind of mirroring Chen's movements, blocking his paths.
Exactly.
But then, where's he getting experience? Right? He's picking up bounty runes. They don't give you experience.
Yeah.
Right? So he's sitting there at level 2, Chen. He's farming camps in between. You know, he's still getting something all the time.
Yeah, that's what the Chen's going to fall back on, whereas the Bounty Hunter, he kind of feels like he maybe needs to sit in lane, leech some experience somewhere, which you don't really want to do. Try to find kills, which is always going to be maybe a bit of an issue, but we'll see what they pair up with the Bounty Hunter in terms of the supports. Obviously, you have the Bounty to roam around. Maybe you want something more like a Disruptor or something for EG in terms of their 5 position, but we'll see. Elder Titan has also not been banned. That's another hero that's been picked a lot recently, so something to keep in mind.
So what core do you think EG is going to pair up with this Razor? Razor, not a true one position. He plays more this semi-carry style of role, right? You want another strong, solid core to pair him up with.
There's a couple of options. What did LFY pick with the Razor earlier today?
They had Bristleback.
Bristleback.
We definitely will not be singing
That's not going to get picked, I don't think.
Good try, though.
It did work out pretty well. They got that Aegis Steel, and obviously helped out a little bit, but I don't think we'll see the Bristle here for EG. But for Pain, they have the next pick. They ban out the Lycan, another strong hero. Rubik, another one of those supports that's been picked a lot in terms of the kind of roaming 4 that it's been turned into, getting an early Blink Dagger or something like that. But instead, it'll be taken away, and now it's Pain Gaming with 1 minute and 30 seconds to think about what do they want to do, how do they want to get started early on into this game. There's no Pugna, so they can't go for that in terms of just trying to push down towers, but they have a Chen. If they want to go more fast tempo, they could go for something for like a DK at this point in the game, even though it was nerfed a little bit at the very least.
Yep. You know, for me, whenever I see Tiny, this hero is so flexible. He can be played in multiple roles, multiple lanes. I never know where team wants to put him. All right, Morphling.
We were talking about this. He was nerfed into Oblivion a couple patches ago.
Yeah.
The strength morph for the attribute shift, as it's called now, obviously changed. But now he has the ability to morph in and out.
That gets me every time.
The attribute shift?
Yeah, because
you just want to say morph strength, right?
Exactly. But now his ultimate's morph.
Yeah. It's definitely confusing.
I guess it does make more sense, though.
What? This is a Venomancer pick for Pain Gaming. I'm not sure how strong this hero is right now, but it seems very interesting for them.
Well, when you combine it with the Chen and Tiny's level of push, when you can just set up and siege some towers, it looks pretty strong. You have the Disruptor for some catch. But outside of the 5-man, it looks very weak.
I mean, it is going to be played in the core role, too. You have a Disruptor and a Chen all ready to go. So this is maybe mid, potentially, safe lane. I'm not sure where people play core Venom. It's not like it's happened a lot recently.
I mean, he's another one of these core heroes that can be played in any lane, just like Tiny, right?
Yeah. We'll see which one of these guys goes in the off lane and who they'll have to play up against. Maybe the Razor. We'll see.
I'm really surprised the Morphling came out 3rd pick, right? Because look at this 4th pick. It's Crystal Maiden. There's nothing that came afterwards that would signal, oh, I really want to pick Crystal Maiden here. And then when you pick your carry in that role, you give Pain Gaming the opportunity to pick another core good against the Morphling, right?
Yeah.
When they could have just switched the 2 positions, and there would have been literally no difference except you secure Morphling a potentially better game.
Theoretically, you could have picked it 5th. I don't think it would have been banned, maybe? I'm not sure. Unless you've been watching, maybe like seeing EG, playing it in pubs or something like that. Maybe it could have been banned out, but it wasn't touched in the first 2 phases, so it's curious that they do pick it 3rd, but we'll see if Pain can respond.
Yeah, maybe it's a highly contested hero by Pain as well.
Yeah, that's a good point, too.
Because otherwise, I would see no reason why they'd want to pick it there.
They both have so much reserve time left. They went through this draft, like you mentioned, it's a speed draft, essentially. We have all 4 of the picks at this these first 2 phases, and they are looking to finish this draft off quickly. So Underlord's the last man for Pain Gaming, and the Evil Geniuses will get theirs. Now, where do you think the Razor and Morphling are going in terms of the lane? Like, where are you going to send them? You don't know.
I don't know.
You have no idea?
Well, I've got something of an idea, but it's not a very good idea.
Okay.
They can go anywhere, Maut.
Yeah, very flexible heroes, the Razor especially.
So do you think, since Pain Gaming are playing with the Chen, the offlane essentially becomes the safe lane? Because you can send the creeps back, and then it gives Tiny or whoever's in the offlane a pretty good start.
Yeah.
Do you think that they'll run a somewhat of an aggro lane with like the Razor, Crystal Maiden, and the Bounty Hunter will just watch the Chen's movements so we can't interrupt that lane?
Yeah, that could be a good idea, actually, and just try to put a little bit of pressure on early. Yeah, I like having the Bounty, just making sure that the Chen can't get anything done freely, but...
Historically, Bounty Hunter has been a pretty good response to the Chen, but that was back when he only had 1 creep at level 3. There weren't 2 sides of the jungle for Chen to farm. Teams actually invaded the jungle and blocked camps.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
No.
It just doesn't work. There are way too many camps to look for nowadays.
It's kind of ridiculous. What do you think about the CM into the Chen, Frostbite, and all that stuff?
It's okay, but it's not great, right? You think, oh yeah, sure, I can Frostbite these creeps, but what happens when any one of these other players on Pain Gaming come at you, right? Venomancer throws a Plague Lord at you, Crystal Maiden falls over.
You're just dead, yeah.
Disruptor, same thing. Tiny, same thing.
It's not a hero that you see too often, I think, the Crystal Maiden. She's been out of the meta for quite some time, I would say.
Yeah,
from what I've seen anyway. It's just an interesting hero to pick, but it gives you the lockdown, which you're kind of missing out on right now. You have only a Razor, you have a Morphling, so you don't have the most disabled. Bounty Hunter's okay with Janata.
You also need a heavily laning-focused support when it comes to playing with Bounty Hunter, because he's not going to be able to help your safe lane out or whatever lane you want to place your carry in that much, so you need a support that's heavily dedicated to that. Usually we see Witch Doctor. He's been probably the most common 5 support when you have like that roaming 4 position here that doesn't really want to lane. And also pretty good against the Chen, but they favor the Crystal Maiden for, all right. Makes a bit more sense, right? You look at these 3 core heroes and you think, oh, man, it's pretty good on them.
Yeah, that's going to help out a lot. They still are kind of lacking some lockdown. Curse of Avernus is a nice slow, but you just have the CM Frostbite in terms of actual disable. That's really what they're missing, which I guess is fine because these heroes are pretty easy to lock down. The Venomancer's super slow. Tiny, until he gets a Blink Dagger, is not very mobile either, so might not be the biggest deal.
Not the most mobile heroes on Pain Gaming, and EG will heavily rely on that track movement speed to be able to run some of these heroes down.
Yeah, they can get to level 6 for Evil Geniuses, get some tracks up for Bounty. They can easily take a lead, but I don't know. Are Pain going to be able to like push this quickly? Is this going to be a fast tempo game with the Veno and Chen to try to take down these towers?
Potentially. They're definitely set up for it, but I feel like they can just go for a carry that exploits their lack of disables on the side of EG.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of carries and a lot of heroes in general that just explode when there are no disables. And
that's
there we
the
go.
hero.
Phantom Lancer.
How do you lock this guy down? HFN might actually have a great game here. And now we're going to see the new Morphling. What can he do with the new Morph interaction in terms of being able to toggle it on and off? There's a lot of cool spells to be able to be used.
Some Phantom Lancer spells.
Yeah, Spirit Lance is pretty nice. We'll see what happens here for Arteezy's Morphling. And it is the Arteezy Morphling. That doesn't surprise me necessarily that he picked this hero up. But I don't know. I think Pain actually have a draft that can deal with EG rather well because of this Phantom Lancer pick. I think they also have a good push, and they can rely on the PL in the late game as well.
For me, it's all about Tiny start. If this hero gets off to a quick start with the help of Chen sending creeps back, he's a very explosive hero.
Yeah.
One-shots all these squishy heroes on the side of EG, Crystal Maiden, Bounty Hunter, and have a miserable time. But then, I don't know. It feels like they're lacking something in the mid-game because of that Venomancer pick. I feel like there's a bit of a gap in the lineup. PL gets late game, fantastic, right? Very little disables for EG to play around with, but then What exactly is this Venomancer going to be able to provide for them?
Well, we're going to see it as Weehaw playing the hero as we jump into the game, and I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup. We'll see how it turns out, but EG versus Pain, and of course the people on the panel were talking about this. They were saying, okay, there are 2 potential upsets today. Most of them talked about Complexity and Secret. Of course, Paul mentioned EG and Pain as well. I think this is a draft that could do it, Brax. I absolutely do. So we'll see as we get into it.
Yeah, I agree. You know, there's always the question of how are we going to communicate with the stand, right? We've got 4 Brazilians, and we've got a Romanian guy.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, Valve thought of this already. The chat wheel.
It's a universal language.
It is.
It works out perfectly, actually.
When you play in different regions, you chat wheel. That's how you communicate.
I also would say, too, that they've played together once already, so
yes,
maybe communication wouldn't be as big of an issue for Weehaw. I mean, we'll see, but in terms of starting things out, we might have some
I don't
action.
appreciate your logic. I'm trying to tell a story.
All right, you can continue your story then, Brax.
Well, I was done.
Okay, great. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
So we have some pretty aggressive play from Pain coming down into the bottom lane, just trying to get some vision. But speaking of vision, a ward was already placed on this Uber cliff here, which we'll see in a second at this bottom lane. So something to consider, some good vision already at the start of this game for EG, just trying to spot out the movements of Pain and where they're going to send the heroes at the beginning of this game.
I wonder how EG are going to react to this Chen sending creeps back, because Morphling is not the most flexible hero.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when you start out with the attribute shift. You can't play this hero in many lanes. You need to secure his early game. Make sure he has a good start, because it's pretty bad when he doesn't.
See him now getting run out there trying to contest the runes, and Pain will find 2 for themselves as Martizi gets up and gets the other one.
He's actually in some trouble.
Yeah, he's pretty low.
Look at how much damage he takes.
He does have the attribute shift of strength, but that is a lot of damage to be done already at the beginning of the game. He'll have to use some of his tangos. He bought 2 sets. He'll have the circlet as well. But I think Duster's about to send one back. He's already sent 2 back, it looks like. So there's only the range creep and another melee in this bottom lane at this point. So this will give Tavo a great start. He sends a 3rd back, and it's just the range creep. This is exactly what you were talking about. It's going to make Tavo's life a lot easier as the wave will push into the tower. At least it should.
Yep, it should. And we have Fear and Misery in the off lane up against HFN and King RD.
Yeah.
So this is the interesting lane, right? Morphling, he's basically sacked. Well, not sacked, but he's going to have his lane contested by the Tiny in the early levels. So this is like their big lane that they can play off of. But I'm not entirely sure how strong Razor is against PL, because once those lances come out, it gets pretty rough. I guess Disruptor's weak.
Fear has already static linked a lot. Now, it's important to note that this is going to leave Sumail in the mid lane on the Abaddon, and this is kind of an interesting matchup. He has the Aphotic Shield to work with, and until Weehaw can get some levels, he might struggle against Sumail in the beginning of this game. Really good base damage, really good. I guess Sumail could do pretty well here against Weehaw.
Yeah, the Aphotic Shield removes the Gale, so he doesn't have to worry about that.
Tavo will get first blood onto Arteezy in the bottom lane. In the meantime, they'll static link top for HFN and King RD, but so HFN will have a tough time. He has 4 last hits, but he's going to continue to get static linked as the game progresses. But like you said, once the Spirit Lances start coming out, maybe it gets a bit easier. And this is where the bounty is rotated to as well in the top lane. I don't think Fear really needs help, but he is here to try to at least get some experience and zone out HFN even more.
Yeah, it's a bit curious. You know, Bounty Hunter not going to be able to stay up there forever.
Oh my god. Arteezy is getting slapped by this tree grab and almost goes down. He had 20 HP as the tree throw came in from Tavo. It's level 1, so of course the cooldown is increased on this tiny tree grab, but a lot of pressure already being applied. They also have the Dark Troll Summoner here as well to help out with. So this is kind of a tough lane. You're right. It's pretty much him getting sacked. He has 4 last hits. It's not the worst in the world, but he already did go down once to Tavo in this off lane.
Yeah, no, that's huge, especially when Chen rotates in like that. Any of these heroes can die. And this is the big thing, right? We have Chen, who's making movements, pressuring sides of the map, and Bounty Hunter is stagnant in a lane, just playing as the lane support, which is good, right? He's applying a lot of pressure to King RD, but it's not the same level of rotation.
Yeah. He'd like to get more work done, but I don't know he's going to really be able to help bottom. Oh, he's just dead. They just kill crit. That's another kill in this bottom lane. Chen applying a lot of pressure with a Tiny, who's now level 3, getting up to level 4 as well. Really good start for Tavo in this bottom lane.
I mean, just look at the ease of execution, right? It's so effortless for Chen to just walk down into Tiny's lane, who can already set up the gank with the Avalanche and the toss. There's no chance that Crit can start this lane.
So let's talk about the mid lane then. Weehaw, he's got the level 1 Plague Ward now. He'll start getting those levels up, I would assume, into that Plague Ward. But Sumail is having a great time, 15 last hits. I mean, he'll have level 4 soon. Does he rotate around, or does he just want to sit and farm and try to pressure the tower? What does he do on this Abaddon
here?
He
is going to be static here and just defend the tower as long as possible.
Kinetic Field, Misery in trouble. 1 more auto attack, and that's a big kill for Pain again. Now these lanes starting to go a bit better in the top lane after the static link was coming out, but still good stuff starting here for Pain at the beginning of this game.
Yep, down bottom, Tava with the toss back. Oh boy.
Arteezy will waveform away. He'll stay alive for now, but the Avalanche coming in. He's getting low. He does the stick charge. He will use it and keep himself alive. Now Misery has rotated down bottom as well, so they have applied 3 heroes to this lane to try and stop Tavo from just being a monster.
Look at that tornado.
The Wild Wing is dancing. He's sending the tornado in. It's just going to only annoy Arteezy more.
That's hard to go into.
Yeah. The amount of HP that you have, the tornado actually does a lot of work. But Tavo's going to get hit by Misery with Janata coming in, but he's going to get sent back, so he's fine. Completely A-okay.
Just when you thought the lane was safe, you know, Tiny's got no mana, he gets sent back and he's going to TP right back.
This is a rough start for Arteezy, but again, they're doing well in the mid lane and the top lane. Razor getting decent farm, 21 last hits. Of course, Sumail has 23 last hits against Weeha, who just needs more experience to lane up against Sumail.
Yep, all right. You're talking to me about the mid lane, but things keep happening, like Fear's getting gun on top. Oh boy.
He has Static Link in 1. He might use it. He's still getting run at.
2 mana for the Lance?
Not enough mana for Spirit Lance. He will use it. He just gets enough now. And another Thunderstrike. They're going to dive this. The Sal comes through, and I think the Fairy Fire keeps him alive. The Plasma Field coming in, and HFN doesn't want to dive too deep. Meanwhile, Tavo gets killed, or rather gets the kill on crit down bottom again. This is a fantastic lane for this Tiny in the bottom lane, but Weeha getting low in the mid lane as well as Sumail continues to run. The Gale will come out, the Aphotic Shield though, but that's going to be it. I think he Aphotics the creep instead of himself.
This game's a bloodbath, Maut.
It's actually...
I keep trying to talk about this mid lane, but things just keep happening.
I'm going to Penitence on the Misery, but they Frostbite the Centaur Conqueror. This thing should die, and that will push them back. They have also a Mud Golem there. They have a Sentry down, I believe, so they see Misery rotating over, but Tavo's still fine. I mean, he's got 19 last. It's the 10 of Arteezy in this lane. Rotating in, they're going to try to find another kill. They've got the Avalanche. Misery's going to get Penitence down. In the mid lane, they glimpse back Sumail. He's going to get caught. This could be a big kill if they can find him, and it looks like they might be able to get both. They've got Misery. Sumail does get the deny off in time. Very close, and that's actually a big deal for Sumail.
Yeah, it is for sure. So the Abaddon against Venomancer around TI, this was the big counter. Because Venomancer's played in the safe lane, the Aphotic Shield removes the Gale.
Yes.
So you were pretty much just safe against him the entire time. But eventually Venom gets levels and wards and he takes for the lane anyways.
Yeah, he'll be able to. He's already got his ward army on his hill essentially in the mid lane. So Weeha is still just doing fine. 24 last hits. He is pretty far behind Sumail, but Sumail, of course, he did go down recently.
There's just no answer for EG for this bottom lane. Chen can just sit here forever with the Mud Golem, essentially just laning with the Tiny, preventing any aggression from EG.
Maybe he forced those rotations for Misery down into that bottom lane. Wasted a lot of time. Misery's level 3. Duster up to level 4. And he, like you talked about, you can always head to the jungle. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to find himself a bounty rune along with it. So they've rotated Misery to the top lane for now. Trying to at least maybe find a kill on this HFN Phantom Lancer. But it's not easy. He's level 4. He's got the Doppelganger. They're going to use the Static Link, which forces out the Doppelganger. But
he's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he only lost 31 damage. Not a big deal at this point. And they drop a Sentry onto Misery. Maybe they can bring down with the Spirit Lance. Kinetic Field is there. They've used a little bit too early. They have Plasma Field. There's the Glimpse back. King Art's getting low. Fear should probably be able to bring it down. The Spirit Lance, he actually dodged it because he was out of range of the Sentry. And they don't get that kill. They will lose the Disruptor instead. Nice play from Misery to make sure he stays alive, knowing that Sentry's radius. And he's able to get out of it.
Yep, very nicely done. A much needed kill. They need anything they can get at this current moment.
So as expected, Tiny is the top net worth hero now.
Oh god, up top Fear gets linked up, but
Plasma Field. HFN has another Spirit Lance. Fear's a little low. They should have Thunderstrike. They do. It's in 1 second.
Get in range for the Lance?
But HFN can't get in range for the Spirit Lance, which will keep Fear alive. And Misery rotates back up to help out as well. He wants HFN. He's going to cancel the Clarity that he had running. So yeah, Tavo is top net worth. He's got Treads already. Do you build into Blink and just try to get aggressive on this hero?
He might go for a filler item, like for the drums, a little more stat heavy so we can keep dominating this lane, but I don't know. He can go whatever he wants at this point of the game. Both teams are pretty much making the exact same play, diving the opponent's safe lane. Just trying to get some pressure.
Yeah.
But of course, one team has Chen, so tower dies a bit faster.
Yeah, they can send him in here. They've got a Wild Wing to help out if they want to throw up the Tornado. Arteezy's going to get constantly toss spammed by Tavo, who's just doing a great job. Frostbite, that will at least stop the Wild Wing from dancing, so there's that, but I mean...
Always good to stop those birds from dancing, one.
I mean, at this point, it's still Tavo doing well, but then again, Sumail and Razor, he's actually only a little bit ahead of the Phantom Lancer.
The last hits from each are looking very good currently. Yeah. Sumail, 57 last hits to Weeha's 30.
He's building Drum. Do you think he goes Radiance after this for Sumail?
He could.
He's going to rotate up top for HFN. He's already used the Doppelganger, looking for Misery. HFN taking a lot of damage from the Aphotic Shield. No Doppelganger. He has stick charges, but he won't be able to get him off, and there was only 3 of them anyways. Tavo rotates up, but a little bit too late. They should have borrowed time on Sumail, and they'll use it now. The Cataclysm coming in, they're diving. This is a problem for Pain. They get off the kinetic field. That might keep Tavo alive. 1 or 2 more auto attacks in the plasma field, along with the Mistquirrel, get the job done. And Sumail now, they finally bring down Tavo, and this turns into a tier 1 tower push, and all of a sudden, some much-needed map control for EG as they're going to take this down.
Very nice for EG. You know, that's probably one of the worst feelings in the world as an offlane player. When you TP into a lane, you're applying a ton of pressure in your lane, and you give all that up to try to salvage some sort of play on the other side of the map, and it goes wrong. Now you lose your pressure in the bottom lane, and you lose your momentum.
And that's Tavo, the top net worth hero now, giving his gold away to Sumail. He's got his drum just about done. Weehaw, though, in the meantime, starting to apply pressure. In fact, this tier 1 tower in the mid lane has started taking a lot of damage from these Plague Wards. And Weehaw is building into that Midas, so he knows late game he'll be able to get online. But for now, Sumail's going to try to push this back and gain control over the map in the middle lane.
Yep. Going back to your other points about the Radiance on Abaddon, it's a terrific Radiance game. Right, you have the Phantom Lancer illusions to help burn down. Same thing with the Chen creeps. And also, there's just not a whole lot of stuns on the side of Pain Gaming.
Yeah, that was the issue we talked about.
That effective against Abaddon.
They have the Avalanche, they have Tavo to work with, but he is building into the Blink Dagger, but he's a little bit away. He went for Bottle, he has full wand, he also has Treads and a Raindrop to work with for Tavo, so the Blink is still kind of far, but he does have the Tree Grab, which allows him to farm quickly. Meantime, mid lane, Sumail running at Weehaw. He has a Aphotic Shield, he also has Borrowed Time, so he's fine completely. They're trying to set up something here, but there's a ward that might have scouted this out. I think Crit smoked up behind it, though, so they might not know this rotation is coming.
This is a huge kill if EG can get it, just to remove this pressure
he
from
has
the mid
Poison
lane.
Nova. He might want to use it. He's getting dove. There's the Frostbite. The Poison Nova comes out. The Borrowed Time is used. Weehaw will fall, but can they get any return kills for Pain Gaming? It looks like King D might fall next as well. Aphotic Shield, good Avalanche from Tavo in the meantime. He already used the Borrowed Time. They need to be careful. They do get crit, and Misery's ticking down as well. The toss from Tavo will get another, and now Sumail, he used the Aphotic Shield. They're going to get another kill, but he does get a double before dying. He will bring down King RD at the end of the day. So it is a 2-for-3 trade. Good usage of that ultimate from Weehaw, and HFN even rotating at the end to try to secure a kill.
Yeah, nicely done. Even though Pain managed to get some kills off the back of EG's dive there, still, it's opening up some space for Morphling to continue to free farm. Right, the game has slowed down, we're out of the lane phase, and now we can just sit back and hit some creeps and scale into the game. So, EG, pretty happy about that. The big problem from Pain here is they've lost their momentum, right? They had a fantastic lane start, and then now the pressure is just gone. Where does Chen go from this point?
Yeah, you pick this hero, you try to bring down these towers, but the CM is frostbitten a lot of her creeps. You have an Abaddon that you're trying to push into. It's not the easiest thing, and a Bounty Hunter to get some vision as well. And he's almost level 6. If he can find another kill on Weehaw in the mid lane, they can get track up and they can start getting some track kills as well. But
yeah. With all these heroes lingering around the mid lane, Weehaw can't play up, pressure the tower. It's not gonna happen.
They do have the Phantom Lancer for the late game, I suppose, and he's building to a Midas as well, actually.
Well, that's never a good sign. That's how you know you're having a rough game.
Oh, that courier gets dropped by Misery. So, I mean, what was once a very good, offlane for Tavo, they will try to push this into a tier 1, but it's starting to look a little bit like the late game is Pain Gaming solutions at this point. They've got the Midases queued up. They're ready to go, but EG are starting to push pretty heavily here into this tier 1 tower. So maybe we'll see a trade as the bottom lane is still getting pushed up, and the Chen will bring this down along with Tiny. Maybe they fight mid. They're going to dive Weehaw. The Gale will come out. He already used the Aphotic Shield. There's the Shuriken toss as well. Another Aphotic with the Hand of God keeping Weehaw alive. He has no poison up, a good Avalanche, but there's the Borrowed Time. The toss will come in and won't really help. He does buy his Midas before dying, actually, which is pretty important. Glimpse comes back in. They found Misery, so it'll be a 1-for-1 trade, but it is your mid-lane Venomancer getting dropped down instead for just a Bounty Hunter. That's it.
Yeah, and again, EG forcing all the rotations out from Pain Gaming, just buying space for Morphling to keep on farming. That's exactly what he wants, and he's going for the boots to travel. Yeah.
So RTZ getting a bit greedy himself, trying to get around the map, trying to farm waves, and he's got the Akil, he's got wands to work with, so finally getting some space after that kind of disastrous safe lane for him.
Yeah, no, it was definitely disastrous. So the big saving grace for Pain Gaming now is Tavo has Blink Dagger on Tiny, or at least he has enough money to purchase one if he wants. And they can start using some of the Blink Dagger rotations to attack some of these towers, because currently EG, look at how Sumail's playing in the mid lane. He just sits on top of Weehaw's hill, attacking the creeps, knocking everything down so that Weehaw can't even start damaging this mid tower.
Yeah,
it hasn't been hit in like 2 minutes.
Exactly. It's been pushed in for the vast majority of the last few minutes. And they will pick up the Blink Dagger for top lane. This is exactly what you were talking about. They could try to find Arteezy. He
got the
is
Static
strength
Storm
morphed.
on top of this, too.
They could try to go for this
So
kill.
tanky. He knows this is happening.
1,400 HP right now. And King Artie's ready. They're going to jump in. Avalanche toss. They missed the Avalanche, though. And Arteezy's fine, I think. So somehow he gets out of that.
Just walking it off.
That is unfortunate. That's the Blink reveal, too. And you're not able to find anything with it for Pain Gaming.
Wow. Very nicely played from Arteezy. Strength morphing preemptively, so he has enough health to potentially survive even if you do land the combo. So, very nice.
And now we can just go back to farming. And now, Pain, they're just really relying on these Midases and maybe into the late game.
So many awkward things happen when you miss a gank like that. Now you have EG pushing in the other two lanes, HFN up top being pressured by Fear's Razor.
They're going to rotate a lot of heroes. Maybe they can try to find Fear, Glimpse, but it's not too far. The Penitence comes in, but there's nobody really in position. They need Tavo here with the Blink Dagger. It doesn't look like they have it, though. He's a little bit too late to the party. So Fear will survive. He's also got
and they
Treads.
smoke on the ward, too. So now EG knows this is happening.
Weeha actually survives. What a TP to get him out of trouble, but still, I mean, there's a lot going well for EG now. They have the track up. They've got Urn. And Sumail is super farmed. He's getting super close to his ratings. I think he might have stopped off the medallion. He did, actually, but he's still getting very close to the relic. In the meantime, they will find a toss Avalanche combo Sumail, but he does have the borrowed time. He will pop it. Also, the Photic Shield looking to put some pressure onto King RD. And now more rotations coming in. Those are the bots, but it kills the creep, so Arteezy can't get in. Sumail's going to get glimpsed back, but do they have the damage? I'm not sure. Even with Tabo having a DD rune, he's got another blink, but they don't want to dive the tier 1 tower.
Yep. Oh, I mean, this all just happened because they scouted the smoke. Sumail pushing his limits, knows he's not going to die to that.
HFN is dead. The freezing field. Fear getting a couple of auto attacks down, and that is your Phantom Lancer dead. And another courier snipe. Yes. Oh my God, it's all unraveling for Pain Gaming. Now a 3K lead for EG.
Oh my goodness.
They are feeling it right now.
You have these deep wards. Look at these deep wards from EG. You have one in the mid lane, one in the top, one in the bottom lane. Scouts out all the movements from Pain Gaming because, you know, that's what their game plan is right now. They want to go from tower to tower, be able to gank and push some of these lanes down.
Pain will get back into it. They knew the borrowed time was on cooldown, so they were able to find a nice big toss Avalanche Static Storm combination. But can they get anything done with this push? They've stolen the Siege Creep using the Chen, so they'll try to find the tier 2 tower in the mid lane. I'm not sure. They have the Plague Ward starting to go. They're going to use a Glyph for this for EG and Crystal Nova the Wave. But in the meantime, Fear is just split pushing top. Arteezy's just farming bottom at this point.
I mean, look at this. They don't care about the push. They're just trying to maximize their farm, get everything they can.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the right thing to do. Look at the once Morphling gets farmed. What can they do to really stop him?
Yeah, we haven't really talked about the Razor either, but he is going to be going for that Treads Drum BKB build, that early BKB build that we've talked about previously. It seems to be very popular on heroes like him and Gyrocopter.
Yeah, looks good. It helps guarantee that you can actually fight in the mid game when Pain Gaming are at their strongest with their lineup.
Yeah, because they're relying right now on a lot of magical damage. Even the PL Spirit Lance, obviously the Venomancer, a lot of what he does. Yeah. So BKB comes out a 10-second BKB, and you're not really able to do anything to that Razor.
You know, EG's game plan at this point is they just want to split push and farm, right? We're going to use these deep wards to dodge Pain Gaming's movements and just try to acquire as much farm as we can, and then we'll fight them later on our own terms. They actually don't have to do anything at this point.
Yeah. This map control is actually just pretty great for EG. They're taking over the top lane. They have spotted out Weeha behind the tower. He's taunting away, but Misery can try to find him here in a moment as Crit is wrapping around. They're going to find the Gale, and that is going to be a nice, easy pick up there as they morph into the Venomancer who uses the Gale. That's pretty nice.
Yep. Started their own push now with the Venomancer wards.
That's actually kind of ridiculous. Stealing the Venom wards, making the tower push even easier for EG. They will take the tier 2 tower in the top lane. In the meantime, the PL is going to try to split push bottom with Duster. They do get a tier 2 of their own, so it could be a lot worse for Pain, but it is still, it's starting to become that significant lead for EG that you would expect with the heroes that they have.
Yep, eventually EG are going to get to this point where they have their core items. Morphling has the Lincoln Sphere, Razor has his BKB, and then it's going to become so much more difficult for Pain Gaming's lineup to fight because they need to blink in and blow someone up with a tiny combo, right? The moment that combo is not as effective, where these heroes can actually live through it and tank it, is when their lineup starts to fall off a bit and rely more on the PL.
Glimpse toss back. Sumail's still fine. He's got the borrowed time. He also has his drum to use if he wants to, but it doesn't look like he's going to. They're just going to have Fear slap the tower while he's just sitting there.
I mean, how often do you see that, right? Tiny blinks in, tosses out one of the heroes in the enemy team into his team, and he just walks away. There's nothing they can do about it.
No, not an Abaddon. That's another hero. That hero might die, but not Sumail Abaddon in this particular game.
Yep, and he's closing in on the Radiance too, only about 1,000 gold off, and then it just gets even worse.
They do have a defusal now for the PL. He wants to fight, and they're going to try with the Smoke of Deceit. They have, however, tracked up the Chen, which is a bit unfortunate. Plus, they have a ward behind the tower that was just spotted. So
yep.
I don't think EG are going to be in trouble with this smoke.
Every time Pain Gaming goes for one of these plays, it's been scouted out by a ward.
And you just sit back and you farm something that you know is safe, and
yep.
You're fine if you're EG, especially for the Morphling.
And we even saw Sumail, he baited it out. He just sat mid lane, knew the smoke was coming. They couldn't kill him. Once that happens, they expend all the resources for that, and it's just a big waste of time for Pain Gaming.
So RTZ has taken up the top net worth spot. EG, they know that the smoke is happening, but they're feeling aggressive. They want to try to take down this tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, on the high ground, they have found Crit. Not the best target. It is only a CM. She does use the freezing field, but she gets dropped as it happens. Sumail getting a little bit low. They want to use that borrowed time. They found Fear, but his BKB is flying out on the courier. I believe he's going to have to TP, though, before it gets there. But they have no disables. They cannot get him out of the TP, and he will be back home, ready to pick up his BKB as well.
Man. And meanwhile, Morphling takes the tower for free as well.
He's got a Yasha. He's building into a Lincoln Sphere. Good luck killing this guy at this stage in the game. EG are starting to really feel it. They're up 4K now. They're pushing into the tier 2 tower bottom.
Oh, look at Misery's positioning, just waiting.
Is this going to be a third courier snipe? Misery is going to be...
Sees it on the ward.
He's actually done so much for his team with these courier snipes. He's about to find another one. Oh, they know.
Just kidding.
They figured it out.
They heard us.
Misery is off the map, guys. Where could he be? Oh, man. Oh, they're going to send it back? No.
Oh, no.
He just sits there and waits the entire time. Well, they'll find Arteezy. He is now out of mana with a Diffusal Blade. The Static Storm comes in. This could be a pretty big kill. They might be able to bring him down, and they will. Arteezy dead for 53.
That's a huge kill.
Finally, Pain getting back on the board.
And the important thing is they managed to find the kill in front of the tower, right? So now they don't have to cross the entire map to get this objective. It's just right there in front of them.
And with that kill, King RD finally has enough to afford Arcanes. The dream. He's rich.
He is rich. He's got everything he wants in life now.
They'll push the tier 1 tower. They're hanging in there. Getting that kill for Pain will get them at least some extra map control to work with, but this is where it becomes dangerous. Sumail's Radiance is right around the corner. He is on his way to get a bounty rune and buy it with the gold that he will get from it. And that is frightening.
Oh, man. And this is EG that is in still full split push mode, right? They have no intentions of taking team fights yet. They're playing with 3 cores, essentially. Still just trying to scale into the game. So Pain Gaming have a window while EG are still getting their items, right? Where they can be picked off on the map. They can find these engagements. Tiny has the Shadow Blade Blink and a Haste Rune bottled up, so we can help them find some of these openings. But the big thing is if Pain Gaming can find a pick-off and do Roshan.
Well, this might be helpful in that regard. They see that EG have smoked. They had a ward, but EG are going to run right into Roshan. Static Storm is not back up yet. It will be in about 14 seconds if they want to try to contest Rosh. They have the Poison Nova. They should know, yeah, the skeletons are going to come through, the ones that Chen has summoned from the Dark Troll Summoner. If they want to try to contest this, they can. EG, I don't know how concerned they are. They have the BKB of Razor.
They definitely need to contest this. You cannot afford to give away Aegis to EG's lineup at this point because they're playing the late game. They're skilling. Once they get that Aegis, it secures them the next 5 minutes to just keep on
Look at this wraparound from EG. They're going to try to find Duster, and Duster will get blown up. They have the Plague Ward, though, which will spot it, but he might not be able to get out in time. Kinetic Field, they get off the Static Storm, but where's the damage? They jump in. There's the Poison Nova. This would be pretty good. They've got the Link here. BKB's up. They're going to try to fight this here. Sumail getting a little bit low, but he's got the borrowed time. It's a 2-for-1 trade as Morphling gets dropped down. Crit gets out of a Freezing Field. The Stick Charge keeping him alive, and HFN will get dropped down. It's going to be 3 dead for Pain. Tava will find another kill. It's Misery. So Arteezy and Misery both get dropped, but they should be able to get into Roche, maybe. Tava, of course, can be there, and Sumail has no borrowed time to work with now as he just used it. Something to consider. And there's also no BKB, so maybe they can still contest this even without Static Storm with just Tavo.
Yeah, Tava wants more.
He's going to get frostbitten by Crit, who was in the trees, and now Fear is on the way. Shadowblade, do they have protection? It doesn't look like they do, so he's just going to walk away.
Very nice. Sumail still has no ultimate up. 15 seconds and it's still down. Picks up a regen rune, of course.
Toss. Tree grab. I think King RD almost will die. He has to glimpse back. Plasma Field coming in. He's still alive for now. They're going to try to get this kill onto Sumail, but he's actually insane. A double kill for Fear. 3 now dead for Pain Gaming. They're going to try to find a 4th as King RD is getting run down. Bar time, miss coil, and 1 auto attack from Fear will do the job.
Triple kill with Trax. Not great.
7K gold now. They are feeling good. They had a couple of fights where they were looking okay, but they just lost all 5 of their heroes for that last fight. And now Roche will probably go to EG as well. I don't think there's anything Pain can do about this.
You know, it was pretty good from Pain up until that point at the very end, which was obvious, but now it's spirals into Roshan as well, right? That's the big objective that was being contested.
And as Morphling gets bigger and bigger, despite him dying twice in a row, he's still fine. He's third in the net worth. I mean, they're pretty much all together. They're all at 11,000 net worth for EG. Misery obviously helping with track. They had a gem, I think, on Pain Gaming, but I think that's Misery took it. I'm pretty sure that's the Pain.
Yep, he picked it up now.
That's Weeha's. So that's some gold going the way of EG as well.
Oh, wow. Weeha bought that. Okay.
Yeah. He purchased it after I think he got his 4-step earlier.
That's huge, being able to take that away, especially when a core has to use his precious gold to buy that. The items from EG are really starting to show in these team fights. Abaddon is completely unchecked in these team fights, runs everywhere, destroys everything right now, and it's just going to get worse and worse.
So then what do you do if you're Pain here? You're down 8k net worth. You're getting okay farm for at least your PL, but what's the road back into this game?
Well, Tava already has a Shadow Blade, so we could build it into a Silver Edge, and they can hit him with Silver Edge into a Disruptor Static Storm, so you can't manually cast the ultimate, and they can kill him that way. That's one way to potentially deal with him. It takes a lot of coordination and commitment, but it is doable. Outside of that, and we talked about PL and the lack of disables, but he is playing up against a pretty scary Tricore, so he's going to need a whole bunch of farm.
I mean, Fear is getting closer to that SNY. I think he actually has it, so he's going to do even more damage, even faster on this Razor now, and they're going to go for the tier 2 tower push in the bottom lane. They'll pop the drum charge forward as well. Arteezy has his full Lincoln Sphere now building into an Ethereal Blade, as he has the Yash as well to work with. They're going to maybe try to push high ground with Aegis. It's on Arteezy.
Yeah, it's go time.
And he can even morph into, he does actually morph into Weeha, and he's going to start dropping the Plague Wards and the Gel into Weeha. Weeha needs to be a little careful. They have to use the Glyph. The push continues. This is so hard to fight into if you're Pain at this point.
Yep, Duster's actually pushing the mid lane with his Chen.
They're split pushing, trying to find their own tier 3. They have to TP back though. The tier 3 is about to fall. Hand of God will go, as they're still fighting, actually. Crit is trying to defend this HFN. He really wants this tower, but Crit is doing some serious work with the freezing field back at the base. In the meantime, they'll glimpse back Sumail. He's still trying to go on this tower. Weeha getting run out here. The kinetic field stopping him. They will get the kill onto HFN, actually, as they rotate another hero back. It's Arteezy.
Sumail's unstoppable.
He is just in there. He's popped the bar time. He's looking for King RD. He's slapping him down. They'll find another kill. 4 dead. The only survivor is Duster, who will get caught out by Arteezy's Morphling. And this will allow them to push even more. This Brax bottom, potentially the game getting out of control here for Pain, and this is looking extraordinarily good for EG. The bad news, I guess, for EG is they do have to push into a tier 2 tower, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. They can go top if they really wanted to.
Yep, not a problem at all for them. God, Pain had such a good start to this game, but then a couple deaths, a couple, I would say, overreactions to some rotations, and all of a sudden they lose all this pressure on the map. And then Arteezy, who he got destroyed. He died level 1 to the Tiny. Right, he had a horrible early game. He was pressured super hard, and then he found all that space to just recover and keep on coming back into the game.
And that was just Sumail, I think. Sumail and Fear making that space, making them rotate around the map. They did the first time Tavo died when he rotated top, that was the big issue, I think.
Yep.
When he went down.
He's the big hero on Pain that makes all these rotations, right? He's the most threatening core on the map. Wherever he goes, they can make a play. And when he goes down like that, he just loses all that pressure.
I mean, realistically, Pain just had no way of dealing with Sumail this game. Oh, Arteezy, he's going to toss back Tavo as he morphs into the Tiny. Adaptive Strike coming in. Tavo's tracked up. He's going to get brought down. His Fear starts slapping him. They do get off the Static Storm of the Poison Nova. Misery might fall for this, but I don't think they're really that concerned. The Plasma Field is going to come in. Razor is so damn fast.
Look at Sumail.
Arteezy is still morphed in. He's going to grab a tree as well, and this is going to be nice. He'll toss Fear in, or at least attempt to, but HFN gets back to the high ground. They think about diving. Arteezy is in deep. He still has the Aegis. I think he's not really concerned about dying here. The Lincoln Sphere was still finally gets broken by a Spirit Lance. Glimpse back to the tier 3. The kinetic field is there. He's still fine, at least for now. And now the Aegis gets dropped down. HFN was able to do enough damage with the Gale coming in from Weeha. He will get back to safety, though. The Aegis now gone, and he also has just picked up an Ethereal Blade for Arteezy, so.
Oh, 21k gold lead. It's rough.
Rough is an understatement at this point. They are in trouble for Pain, and I'm not sure what they can do to get back into it. I think they're staring down the barrel of just losing all of their map control. EG could theoretically wait for the next Roshan if they wanted to, which is still a ways away. They could just try to go for a fight now, but we'll see what they want to do at this point.
Yep. I just wanted to highlight the play for Misery's Bounty Hunter this game. It wasn't flashy, right? He wasn't running around killing every lane. It was the tactical Bounty Hunter, the strategist. Right, running back the behind enemy lines, getting those deep wards out, being able to avoid all of Pain Gaming's movements. It is game winning, but it's also not something that stands out as super flashy.
Yeah.
But It makes all the difference.
The courier snipes, the big difference I think that he made this game, because he wasn't finding kills like you were mentioning in the beginning of the game. He just wasn't finding what you would normally want to find at a bounty hunter. They attempted killing Weehaw once or twice in the mid lane, but he was just kind of laning, getting some wards down, and finding those courier snipes. And once you get level 6, though, it doesn't really matter what you do as a bounty hunter. You always have a way back into the game with track gold.
Yep, eventually those team fights come out. EG starts to acquire some gold, track kills come out too, and then it's having a great game afterwards. You know, the problem with Pain Gaming's lineup is that it's so one-dimensional, right? They need to play off of this Chen's push and the Venomancer push. They need that control where they can just set up in a lane and sit there and either fight or just siege a tower. And then once they're able to break that up on the side of EG through split pushing and just superior vision, it's just, they're scrambling, trying to find out what to do next.
I think Crit also did a rather good job this game, too, in terms of frostbiting creeps and just having really good ultimates. I think he's kind of the unsung hero for EG and what he's done in this game.
Yeah. It's actually really strong against the Phantom Lancer. When you Freezing Field, it kills out all the illusions, makes it really easy to find the main Phantom Lancer.
We've seen that a couple of times, in fact, where he's Freezing Field and killed the PL once or twice in this stage of the game.
Is it Freezing Fielding?
Freezing Fielded? Yeah, I don't know.
That's a tough one.
You're asking hard questions here, Brax. They will try to finish this game off, though, for EG. They are up now 23k net worth. And at least there's an Aghanims for Weehaw. That's something.
Yeah, it's true.
It just feels like the Weehaw Venomancer couldn't really get anything done, and then BKBs came out, and you're like, okay, well, what now?
It's a very momentum-based hero for sure, right? When you have that single game plan, you need to be able to commit with it, right? We see he went for the Midas, knew had they try to catch up in the game, but, I mean, just EG, they played well.
That's why I think the Sabaton pick was so good.
It was very good. Sabaton was able to push back the Venomancer's lane, and then they just sit in the sides, pressuring at the Venomancer. There was a period where he didn't leave his tower for like 3 minutes because he couldn't go out.
And like, Sumail, he even had a couple of good rotations in the early stages of the game. Instead of like, when he did leave his tower, Weehaw was able to pressure it, but he only left it for half a minute essentially to find that kill on Tavo in the top lane.
Yeah, it's very nice.
So they are just about ready. The BKB is coming out for Arteezy. Roche is still a ways away, at the very least 50 seconds from now, but obviously it could be more. And they're just slow sieging. They're looking for a toss back from Tavo. He doesn't get it. He'll have to Shadow Blade, but he's tracked up. Gets hit by Sumail a couple of times. There's a lot of damage, and he needs to be careful. The Gale will go, the Penitence as well, but Sumail is completely fine. He is not taking really any damage at this point.
No damage at all.
The Afada comes out and he's perfectly okay. Although HFN is doing some damage to Sumail, and Sumail's forced to pop the borrowed time, and now they need to be a little careful as they approach this high ground push. Glimpse back, toss back, maybe they can get this kill. They have the Poisonable, I believe, for Weehaw. They're going to drop the Static from on top of it. There it is, the slide and the Poisonable, but RTZ pops the BKB. They have taken down Sumail, but Weehaw getting low. There's going to be the Plasma Field as well from Fear, but they aren't able to find anything for EG, even with that BKB coming out for RTZ. So nice play from Tavo. They get Sumail down in that 70 seconds where they probably won't push on this Radiant team.
Yeah, without that Abaddon in the front lines, they can't actually approach the high ground safely, so very nicely done. Buys them a bit more time. But Maut, is time their friend?
They've got 23 seconds before Roche respawns, now 20, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You don't have Sumail for 40, but you should have enough map control that you're able to, at the very least, make sure Pain can't do Roche. And there's also a DD, the top rune spot, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a bit different when the fight's out here, right? And there's, of course, a fortunate DD. Very nice. Yeah, it's not the same, right? When they're approaching high ground, you need the Abaddon in the front lines. If there's a fight, usually you can take it with their BKBs.
Crit might be fine, actually, and that's just not enough burst damage for Tavo. Crit's actually pretty tanky.
He's very tanky.
How much HP? He has 1,400 HP and a Glimmer Cape. Good luck killing this guy. And now Sumail is respawning in 6 seconds, and they could try to take Roche themselves and just finish this game off. They've got all the items they need, a 24k net worth lead. The Bounty Hunter has a mech. He's got a pipe to work with. There's just some big items for EG at this point, and they will take Roche, they will take Aegis and Cheese, more than likely. Pain are starting to move over into this direction, but I'm not sure what they can do. Tavo's in the vicinity with a Shadow Blade, but he has a Blink Dagger as well. If they see him with a Sentry, they will track him up, and Roche is dead. Arteezy will grab the Aegis. The Cheese is taken by Sumail, which makes a lot of sense when your borrowed time is down, as you saw in the last fight. The Gale will hit onto Duster. They also have the Ethereal Blade coming in, the Adaptive Strike. The track is there, a Land of God, but it won't save his life. He will get dropped down. Another track onto Weehaw. Keeps leaving these bananas behind, but it's not going to save his teammate, as they will be pushed back up to the high ground, and EG will probably commence the push yet again. Oh my god. Do you see that tree grab?
Yep,
that's actually
nice.
insane.
There's so many cool things you can do.
We talked about, I think, the flag cannon interaction at breakfast today. That's a funny one that you could do.
Yeah.
But I didn't think the tree grab. I didn't think about that. That was pretty nifty.
Makes me feel like a little kid again when there's some interaction like that in the game where Morphling can, transform into any hero. You have IO, Axe Tether, so many different combinations.
He's taken the Venomancer, who will get off his Poison Over, but not before he does really anything. He'll just get dropped down. Top is going to be next to Static Storm. It's probably a little bit too late. They have to buy back onto the Tiny. RTZ is diving pretty much to the well at this point. He will bring down poor Disruptor, and HFN might be next. He's going to get sent back. He does get Doppelganger off in time, but Dustin's going to get chased into the well. Sumail, he's not really afraid. He has cheese to work with, but he actually gets dropped down and can't get it off in time, and now RTZ needs to back up. So they dive the well, but they're not really losing anything other than Sumail, who will buy back. RTZ Ethereal Blades himself to try to get out of here alive against the PL. Pops the Spirit Lance. Adaptive Strike comes in. There's that freezing field again, and it's a triple kill for RTZ, and next might be Tabo. He gets off the Avalanche, but the Static Link is there from Fear. The Guardian Greaves keeping RTZ alive, and it's going to be everybody dead, and GG called. EG will take this game against Pain.
It was a good game.
It was a good game at the beginning where they did pretty well for that Tiny, but it kind of got out of control at one point there.
It did get out of control for sure, but when I look at these lineups and I look at Pain's lineup, I think they did everything they needed to do within the first few minutes of the game. It's just the moves afterwards. They weren't able to translate that into more objectives, into team fights in their favor. Just a couple mess-ups with a lineup like that, and you do lose your momentum.
Yeah, I mean, like you were talking about, not able to push those Tier 1 towers with a Chen and with the Venomancer as well. Sumail, I think the Abaddon pick was spot on for them, honestly, in terms of what they were able to find with it and stopping the push of Weehaw.
Is that your MVP, Maut?
Maybe. I'm not sure, actually.
You're not sure? Are you waiting for me to go first?
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Okay, fine.
I'm just kidding.
I think